Ogwebegbe, and today I'll be proposing a research topic that seeks to improve the learning experience of blind and visually impaired children using accessible educational technology. The CDC suggests that about 30% of children under the age of 18 are known to be blind or visually impaired, which is a huge number. And as well, we all know the early exposure of a child to proper education now materials helps in the development of certain life skills that are necessary for adulthood. It is therefore important to research in this field. Also, there's however a huge learning gap with BVI children as compared to sighted children. It can be attributed to several factors, but one that we are most interested in is the fact that there's a reduced availability of accessible educational materials for the BVI children to learn. There have been several studies that have tried to understand the learning capabilities of BVI children. Dalberg et al. In their work Beyond Quality in Early Childhood Education and Care explores the need for providing early enough quality education for children and the need for various stakeholders to pay close attention to several factors that affect learning in children. Freeman et al. Also in their paper investigates using other sensory inputs to stimulate accelerated learning of BVI children with their project Inclusive Storytelling Platform for Visually Impaired Children. There is, however, still a gap in providing a standard guideline for developing accessible educational materials for BVI children. Also, there is a limited research in understanding how BVI children interact with currently available technologies for learning. Hence, the major motivation for this research would be to explore ways to reduce learning gap that exists between sighted children and BVI children. For this project, to gather data, this research would be engaging in qualitative data gathering by carrying out interviews and diary studies to get an in-depth understanding of the day-to-day learning activity of a BVI student. Also, quantitative data would also be gotten by the means of survey to identify stakeholders which would lead to understand the problems from various perspectives. For this project, the deliverables would be to understand how BVI children learn and use technologies in their daily lives by learning how the currently available technology and educational materials are being put into use. This would mean we will try to understand the learning curves that exist when you compare both the BVI and the sighted children. We hope to explore behavioral cues that BVI children respond to best in an educational setting. Then we will go ahead to design an accessible educational game that would stimulate the participants' learning in order to test our hypothesis for this project. Finally, we hope to suggest design recommendations for the future development of accessible educational materials for BVI children. Thank you.